Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another Ash Echoes video. Alright, another new day today, and let's talk about how to build a team, alright, with the characters that you have, because I figured, you know, this is going to be the perfect video. I am very close to getting my PT, and that means I will be getting San Ying. Alright, so because the first one, if you lose 50-50, the next one, this is going to guarantee you the character, and you'll see right here, this is going to be the character. Alright, so San Ying is going to be very good for me because I am trying to go for the Summoner team. Summoner team specifically basically consists of San Ying, Luke, and a few other characters, right? So let's have a look at who is the other one. So that is going to be Sambika. Alright. Now, one thing that I get asked a lot about the PT. Alright, does PT carry over in this game, and how does the PT work? Just a quick one. Alright, if you guys are worried, it's same with a lot of other famous games out there, alright, that use the 50-50 concept. As you can see, the first time is 50% chance to get the 6-star. If you don't get 50-50, alright, the next one will be the rate up character 6-star. Alright, so this effect does not clear when the current targeted resonance, which is the rate up banner, ends, and will be applied to the next banner. So the PT does carry over to the next targeted resonance pool. So hopefully you guys are aware of that. So as long as it's a targeted resonance pool, which is going to be this particular one, alright, targeted is basically, it has the word targeted. The standard one is going to have a separate PT on its own. So hopefully you guys are aware of that. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about building a team and why it's important to build a team around certain characters, right? So the first thing is you gotta be aware of the leader skills. Now, whenever you do the Nexus, alright, if you guys haven't done this yet, make sure you guys do this. It gives you one extra try every single day. So once you finish this particular Nexus, alright, it doesn't matter what rank you do, you try to push as high as you can, right? But you'll get some sort of rating here, alright? It's like A 20 something or B something, right? Later on, you're gonna unlock S and SS and stuff, right? That will be later on. But for now, whatever character that you complete the entire Nexus will be able to unlock this particular thing. This is called the leader engraving skill, right? They will have the leader stats and the leader's skill, which is very important whenever you set them as the leader. So for Luke right here, for example, in my team, this particular leader skill, when the skill hits fewer than 5 targets, it deals 20%, you know, extra damage to airborne units among them. Very cool. And you can see right here, if you own the specific trace right here, alright, the SSR trace, then you can unlock like additional stuff, right? And then there's one more tactical upgrade right here. This is an Inspire skill. After casting active skill, grants all allied Echomancers 2 stacks of Inspire. Now, Inspire is going to be a pretty general buff. So what it does is, it basically increases damage by 10%, alright, up to 20 stacks, which is kind of insane. And the condition is if there's a buff, summon, or recovery type. Very good, very useful, alright? So how do you know what is a, you know, buff, summon, or recovery type? Now basically, you can basically see the type of the skill right here under the combat skills. Every single combat skill is going to be one of the type, right? So in this case, this is damage, summon, barrier, alright? And this is a damage and debuff. Alright, so some character is buff. So some are quite unique. For example, like Sambeka right here, she can also do this thing called the water zone. You can create some sort of elemental chain with the other elements, which is pretty cool, right? It's going to give you additional damage and stuff. But here's the thing, right? Whenever you set a character in a battle, ideally the leader skill is going to be applied throughout, which is why you want to apply this particular make sure you guys do the Nexus so that your character is able to apply the leader skill consistently throughout, right? Let's talk about building a team. Now, if you're not sure on how to build a team, don't worry, let's talk about the general characters first, because I'm sure some of you guys probably might not have all the characters that the game has to offer right now, alright? You might be lacking some 5-star, some meta 6-star, which is fine. Now, for a general purpose character, Luke is going to be one of the better ones. I feel like Luke fits really well in every team. He is very flexible. He is going to basically be one of the unique ones in like a summoning team, which you can basically combine him with San Ying, and very cool combo in that sense. But the next general purpose character that I feel like every player should consider getting or building is going to be Sambeka. Now, she is a 5-star. She has insane CC. Alright, she can push back the enemy if you guys haven't used her already. She is crazy in that, right? Very versatile character, and she also can produce the water zone. Now if you're trying to build like a electrocute team, you can combine Sambeka with Yuchi, alright, which you obtain for free, right? Yuchi is like a free character that's given out to you early on. Now, not bad of a character, alright? So if you're lacking in any other like strong frontline character that can help you to tank a little bit, Yuchi is going to be a very decent option, alright? Don't be too afraid to build him. Now, Lydia is also a 5-star that you should consider building. I feel like if you obtain Lydia, definitely she's going to be one of the better characters to consider investing in, right? She's very strong. Even in CN server right now, she's one of the top 5 stars if you're looking for general. And also, she's pretty much core in like the electrocute team for a while. So you are going to benefit a lot from her as well. Now for more budget option, if you're looking for a more, let's say you need multiple different tanks, and now we have a few other options. Tianruo is a very flexible option. This guy being a 4-star, that means you're able to max out his seed all the way. In fact, I'm going to do it right now because you probably have obtained plenty of his dupes, right? 4 stars are just so easy for you to max out in this game. So generally just take advantage of that. And as you can see, in terms of what this guy can do, he is going to be able to activate barrier and also give himself a self heal, right? And can also provide some healing right here, alright, with the Echomancer with the lowest HP. Very useful character. If you can't think of any tank or any healer to bring in, he is going to be the one. Now if you want a specific healer, then Bubbles I think is a decent option, right? She's probably going to get replaced once you get a better character, including Freda, which I think Freda is probably one of the most flexible character. She's very broken for a 5-star. If you have Freda, definitely build her, right? Freda should be a priority to build, and I believe you can buy her in the game for $1. But Bubbles is probably the second best option outside of Freda, and she's probably much more accessible to most players as well. Definitely a weaker option, but she's a 4-star and she's free. I'm sure plenty of players would have plenty of copies. Now let's talk about the teams that you can basically try to configure amongst all the Echomancers that you have available. Now in my opinion, the Electrocution team is going to be probably the most flexible one. Early on, right, you can see you have Yuchi as your tank, and then if you manage to pull Fure and Fernie, and then you got Lydia, and then your supporter Freda. Like I mentioned, if you don't have Freda, you can either use Bubbles right here to basically help you heal a little bit, alright, as long as Yuchi is a tank. Now Fure and Fernie is going to be a 6-star, very difficult to obtain. If you don't have them, a very good substitute in this particular team is going to be Sambeka. Sambeka can basically slot in here and she's going to do wonder, alright? So in that case, you pretty much have a pretty decent team right here if you're trying to combine Water Zone with Lightning. Now this particular stats and leader engraving, as you can see, they recommend attack and MST, and then the other states is pretty much going to be around 800, right? So this is going to be the run that if you're trying to do the Nexus run, you want to like manual this, right? Now if you have Freda, I highly recommend you consider this team. You know, this is going to be a flexible option for a lot of players. Now apparently the freeze team is not too far behind as well in terms of budget option. As you can see, we got Sambeka, Begonia, which are both 5 stars, and then of course again Freda right here, and Ivana. Now the leader is going to be Ivana. She is going to be using her skill. Ivana's leader skill right here, as you can see, increased basic attack damage, and the effect is double in a wet environment. So she is able to benefit from that water production environment, right, by Sambeka as well. Now if you're able to basically do freeze, you basically gain a percentage of engraving MST increase, and it stacks up to 40 times. Pretty cool. Now if you have Ivana, then I think this is a decent team, alright? The freeze team is no slouch either. Now most players are probably not going to pull for her, but if you happen to get her randomly, this is like a decent option, right? Now let's talk about the fire team. Fire team, pretty easy, alright? You have Cyrus, you have Mo Hongshu as your tank, and also you get Roar is pretty much free. Obviously you can replace Roar with, if you have Luke, just feel free to swap her in, right? Or you can put Sambeka as well. Now Cyrus will be the leader in this team, and he's gonna do a lot of damage, right? Cyrus is probably the best fire type character right now. Crit rate increased by 5%, and when fire attack crits, extra damage is increased by up to 75%. Now another team that you can perhaps make out of this is to take out, in this case Roar, and put in Lydia right here. This is going to be the explosion team. You basically combine fire and lightning. Alright, so in that case, you basically just spam this particular combo. Now these two are probably going to be something that a lot of players could use. Again, if you don't have Freda and you need a healer, You can always consider using Bubbles or Tianro for now. That is going to be the very good option for a lot of players that don't have Freda for the time being. Now the physical team or the summoner team is going to consist of Senying, Luke. You can basically use Laurel as a tank. Now, of course, if you don't have her, you can easily substitute with Sambeka and stuff. I think Sambeka is going to work pretty well in this team as well. Freda, as always, very broken character. Something that you can easily apply. If you are running this team, then Senying needs to be the leader. Alright, so why Senying specifically is because you can see, let me show you guys the leader skill. She has this particular one that increase extra damage right here, and also one more that increase the extra damage of own summons by 30%. This is going to be pretty cool. Ideally, helps her out a lot since she can summon the plane and stuff. Now last but not least, let's talk a little bit more about Corrosion team. I think Corrosion team is basically one of the more budget friendly ones, especially right now. You might have obtained Caroline, and then Gina is also going to be a very good DPS in this particular Corrosion team. So Corrosion team, it works in a very unique way. It's like a poison team, right? Caroline is a character that I do intend to build eventually. I actually do run this particular team during the closed beta. Now this team is pretty good because she's a 5-star, right? So it's quite budget friendly. If you look at her leader ability, she is going to be the leader in this case, right? Basically, she helps with increased attack speed right here, and also the deep corrosion attack speed increase. After triggering the blast, the attacking targets have the damage taken amplification. Alright, of course 30%, 60%, and 90%. So it's quite insane actually if you think about it. She is going to be able to boost a lot of your damage. Alongside, if you pair her with Gina right here, they both will be able to do, you know, decent damage. Alright, since Gina can also apply more corrosion as well. Obviously later on, once there's 6-star corrosion characters coming to CN. Now in CN, later on, you will have this corrosion character called Leilani. She is going to pretty much replace Caroline as the leader, but don't be afraid to build Caroline for the time being if you're trying to run a corrosion team. Apparently she is going to be slightly better. So you can see her leader skills right here, where she will restore the seed charge and do more damage for corrosion every time you trigger corrosion blast damage, up to 75% more damage. And this applies to everyone, which is kind of insane. So this is going to be a character that you might want to consider looking forward to if you're trying to build a corrosion or a poison team. Now all in all, if you're not looking to build them in a synergistic team, you can still probably run them pretty good, alright, especially for a lot of characters. I would say characters like Sambika, characters like Azusa. Speaking of Azusa, I forgot to mention, Wind team. This is probably the most unique team right now. Azusa is one of the few characters that fits really well in a Wind team, and if you play on C server, I believe you do obtain Azusa for free, right? And then you can put her together with Felicio, Sodivine Azure, and of course Laurel. Now this team seems pretty expensive because you're gonna need one extra 6-star right there. Now I tried using Azusa before. She's definitely much more on the fragile side and she dies quite easily. So if you're not careful with that, she's going to be on the squisher side and just die to enemies. Make sure you are being very careful when you're using her and deploying her. Alright, so with that being said, that's going to be it for this particular video. Hopefully give you guys an idea of which characters are going to be important or flexible early on, and then you get an idea of how to fit them in a team. So with that being said, that's going to be it for this particular video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. Have a nice day. Goodbye.